The 6888 was the predominantly African American all-woman unit that was sent over to Europe to help with the backlog of mail. Relatively unknown for a long time. A good friend of the project, Edna Cummings, has done a tremendous job trying to bring together different attention to these women. And just this past, what was it, June, we had the Congressional Gold Medal ceremony for them. So they're finally starting to get some attention on them. And Netflix was one who had reached out and asked if we had any collections of pieces of mail that the 6888 may have been responsible for delivering. And we said, well, we can't say definitively, we do have some pieces. This was a video of them reading some of the letters that the 6888 may have been responsible for delivering. And the idea was not only this promotional piece, but also to give the actors an idea of what it was they were actually doing when they were delivering the mail.
This is rude, Netflix. Hey, it's Kerry Washington with the cast of our new film, The 6888. In this film, our battalion is tasked with solving a national mail blockage during World War II. So, we will be reading love letters sent during this era, which are just a few examples of the types of mail the 6888 might have handled. Okay. To Robert Barnes Ware from Martha Ware. Happy Father's Day. It's like a card. Oof, okay.
Don't cry.
Dearest sweetheart, by the time you get this, I guess Rome will have fallen, and I can't help but wonder what it will mean after all, except the loss of so many of our young men. But I suppose the High Command knows what it's doing. Darling, can a person live with tears and heartache and longing and frustration for years and not be changed by it? I often wonder. Do you know the quotation that says, though a man be dead, yet shall he live?
The fact that that is one of the ways that items can be shared, because this was something in which they could potentially be making money off of. We actually had reached out to all of the veterans who were featured this way or their next of kin to make sure that they were comfortable that this information would be shared and out in the public this way. Another thing that's really neat about the project is we work with students age 15 and up. And so I had made mention of Scouts. It's a really great Eagle Scout project. And then also students. We work a lot with different students. Sometimes it's in the form of, as you can see on the left, it's Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, but also it's in the form of educators working with their students to teach them not only active listening skills, but also oral history skills, and really a chance to be able to interact with other individuals and get to know history directly from somebody who was there. So this is just a preview again. We do have brochures. We're happy to send brochures anywhere that may make sense. We are the Library of Congress, so of course we have bookmarks as well, so happy to send those. There's that purple booklet of the field kit, and then we also have some customized guidance depending on what it is that you're looking for. The only thing it could potentially cost is because we're up on Capitol Hill, we ask for submissions to be sent to us via commercial courier. And so that means UPS, FedEx, that's really the only cost. For anybody who's local, you're more than welcome to come hand deliver items to the Library of Congress. Or if it's just a video, you can always reach out to me and I can get you set up on this. We have a pilot program for a digital submission portal where you can load the video directly online, and then I will receive it as well as all of the paperwork and make sure that it gets to where it needs to get to.
Are you trying to emphasize in some way, shape, or form colored troop participation?
Yes, absolutely. So one
You
of the
highlighted the postal group with other things.
I think of course, we want anybody who wants to participate, but we do occasionally highlight the need for deficits in our collection. Another example is, frankly, women.
Yep.
The Veterans Affairs estimates that we have 10% of our population of veterans are women, but it's going to grow to approximately 20% in the next 5 years. Right now, of our 122,000 collections, only 6% of those are stories of service from women. Native American, we recently had done a call out for Hispanic veterans, veterans from Guam. We have an individual who's been working really hard to make sure that those are represented within the collection as well. In 10 years, we have folks who've established collections and then 10 years, 15 years later, come to us with additional pieces. A great example is William Barner, who was a Vietnam veteran who initially had donated his diary. But as part of his post-traumatic stress, his counselor had said, maybe you should go back and read some of the letters you wrote your wife and read the diary. And so his oral history that he has as well is sort of an interesting comparison where with the diary, he's sort of speaking his truth. And with the letters, he's presenting himself as he wanted to present himself to his wife. My point being is there's no time limit to this. If you wanted to do bits and pieces at a time, you absolutely can. I would say if you want to start with seeing how it works for you, and then you could even try to start to establish collections for others. Again, it doesn't have to be an oral history. It could be with your dad. It could be looking through photos and having him talk through different photos or different experiences.
I think my dad has like one photo.
One photo. Well, even that, just sharing what's going on in the photo on film is a great way to sort of jog some memories. And those draft questions, frankly, I've been here 8 years and I don't remember the last time I've done an interview and looked at those draft questions. You don't need them. It's just to sort of have as a reference if you do need them. In fact, sometimes my favorite question, because our brain is not programmed to work chronologically anyways, is just what happened next. A prompt to help remember people, where they were with the story and where they want to go from there. Court reporters actually get continuing education credit for doing this. So it's a win-win-win when they help us out with these. But there are all sorts of organizations. The Red Cross is another great example. Maybe the local Red Cross would be interested in having some folks go out and help facilitate these interviews.
Okay. Or Boy Scout, I guess, right?
Scouts, yeah, it's a great Eagle Scout project. Yeah. It just depends. There's so many different organizations. DAR is really active. Colonial Dames is another one that's really active. It just depends. And again, members of Congress sometimes are able to pull together different subsets of volunteers. And one of the things that's neat is when you do know the people, you are able to pull different aspects of the story out. So we have some collections. For instance, I'm thinking World War II, the Doolittle Raider, Dick Cole. We have his story multiple ways, different people. I think we have 3 different stories from him. And in one of them, it was done by a scout. Another was done by DAR. And then there was somebody else, I think a historical society or something. But each of them pulled out different components of his story because each of them had different background and asked different questions. So, you having that situational awareness, you're going to be able to pull out some really cool stories, I think. I would encourage you to try to participate. I would encourage you, maybe even just being an advocate for the project is a way for you to help make sure that people are sharing their stories. And it doesn't have to be through us. It could be through whatever medium they're comfortable with. Women, again, we work a lot with the Military Women's Memorial down in Arlington, but some folks would prefer to have their story with the Military Women's Memorial and not over with us. So I say whatever medium they're comfortable sharing their story is great. There was a man down in Florida who every week would post. He would do these oral histories and he would share them with us, and every week he would share and highlight the veteran. There are also, members of Congress who have YouTube pages where they do the same thing. There are local libraries who do it. It's just, it doesn't always get out there the way that I think we all believe maybe those stories should. chat. This is the collection I had referenced of William Barner. And you can sort of read through even just his little brief area where he talks about the power of sharing that story out. And he made it a mission after he had shared this to go and tell others how that was something so transformative for him. And he actually carried a little slip of paper and he would give it to people that shared his story and basically said, if this is something that can help you, reach out to me and I'll try to connect you to make sure you can share your story as well. I was remiss in not mentioning another group that we work a lot with is Gold Star Families. We have the Gold Star Family Voices Act, where we ask for immediate family members of the fallen to be able to contribute oral histories telling the story of who their loved ones are. And a great example was there was a young woman who was sharing with me about her brother who was in the Navy. And it was just sort of the first time I'd seen this, but she had the foresight to screenshot some of the conversations that they were having via Snapchat, where the messaging actually disappears. But she went ahead and screenshot it. And so in her oral history, she's sharing not only those experiences, but she was able to pull her phone out and share photographs of, oh, here's him when he was blah, 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 blah. And so we are continuing as we move to the future to be able to do more things like that. We now have the option. The pandemic has taught us to get really good with Zoom and Teams and all sorts of things. And so we have the option to be able to record oral histories this way as well.